A very good evening. It's Sunday the 24th of April 2016 and welcome to a brand new edition of News First Weekend. I'm Arundhati Mudannayaka. Let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines this evening.
Rehabilitated LTTE head abducted. Sweden's foreign minister in Sri Lanka. First visit by a Swedish foreign minister in 7 years. Political parties prepare for 10th May Day.
මේක මේ ආණ්ඩුවට කඩේ යන දවසක් නෙවෙයි.
ඉර ගහලා වෙන් කරනකොට දැනගන්න පුළුවන් මේ වැඩ කොහොමද කියන එක.
ඊ අවුරුද්දේ කිරුළපණදී කරා මේක. අලුත් එකක් නෙමෙයි.
Sri Lanka cricket says batsman Kaushal Silva is out of danger after being struck in the head during a practice session today. Ecuador earthquake death toll rises to 650.
President Maithripala Sirisena says that solutions to wipe out the drug menace in the country should be found from within the Buddhist vision. The president made this statement while addressing an event held at the Kapuhenwila Sri Suwangalodara in Akimimana last night.
The event was organised to hand over credentials to Venerable Hiniduma Sri Sudharma Chandananda Bidana Nayaka Thera as the Deputy Sanganayaka of the Shirmapali Mahaviharavangshika Mahanikaya of the Malvata chapter for Thalpe Pattua and Gaul. There are many challenges and obstacles in our society today. On one hand, we have the drug menace, and on the other, the environmental destruction. Mostly the youth and other responsible groups in society are addicted to this. Many countries in the world have seen an economic decline and severe health issues among society and continues to aggravate because the drug menace cannot be controlled. We also continue to see the destruction of our environment and all of the natural resources by humans itself, which is why it is undebatable that the Buddhist vision should be strengthened among society starting from at a very young age.
As drug raids in the country continue, a prison guard was arrested in the Vidagama area in Bandaragama today in possession of 15 grams of heroin.
The police said that the suspect was arrested while travelling in a car with another individual to make a heroin sale. The police added that information has come to light that the prison guard in question has been engaging in this heroin racket for a long period of time. Meanwhile, the two Maldivian nationals who were arrested in a hotel in Korpiti the night before last in possession of 1.28 kilograms of heroin are being detained and interrogated after court issued detention orders.
A former LTT head who was rehabilitated and reintegrated into society was kidnapped by an unidentified group in Ampara today.
The police media spokesperson's office said the former LTTE head known as Ram, who was rehabilitated by the state in 2009, was reintegrated into society in 2013 and has since been engaged in agriculture in Tirukkovil. His wife had informed police that a group of 3 people, 2 dressed in civil attire and 1 wearing a uniform similar to that of a police officer, had kidnapped Ram at about 8:30 this morning in a blue van at Thambiluville. Police media spokesperson ASP Ruwan Gunasekara said the Tirukkovil police are investigating the abduction.
Speaking to News First, State Minister of Finance Lakshmani Abhivadan said the government is expecting a substantial loan from the International Monetary Fund by June.
We are confident that we would receive an amount of $1.5 billion as a loan from the International Monetary Fund. We can say with confidence that this will be completed in about 2 months and that we would receive the loan before the month of June. The International Monetary Fund does not pressurize countries like in the past. At this moment, they are asking us how we are managing our economy. One is that we have to reduce government spending. We have also mentioned that we will reduce the losses in loss-making institutions by changing the management methods in those institutions and restructuring them.
Now, the JVP criticized the government's decision to increase the value-added tax at a media briefing held today.
On the 11th of April, the Secretary of the Finance Ministry has sent this letter to the Commissioner of the Inland Revenue Department. It is clearly mentioned in this that VAT will be imposed on several services such as telecommunications and equipment related to mobile and fixed lines, which were not subject to the tax before. In addition to that, another 2% tax will be imposed on IDD calls. So the full tax component being imposed is 44%. So when you put a 100 rupee reload, you will be able to make calls worth only 66 rupees. The other 44 rupees will be taxes paid to the government. When the world is celebrating International Labour Day, the working class of the country has got this burden to worry about. Imposing these taxes on the common man is an injustice.
Now, both government and opposition politicians charge that May Day has transformed into a day to showcase political might rather than labourers' rights.
මේ දිනේ කියන්නේ මේ රටේ වැඩ කරන
May Day is for the working labourer in the country. It is the only day for them to raise their voices, not for anyone to campaign for the government. If a day for campaigning is created, then one can campaign all he wants.
යනයාට පුළුවන් ඒ වෙනුවෙන් යන්න.
යනයකා කොරහ බින්දන් යනවා කිව්වා වගේ දැන්
I think Mahinda Rajapaksa is carrying out a campaign with the intention of destroying the Sri Lanka Freedom Party because he cannot bear the pain of defeat. It is time that he bids farewell to politics now.
යම් කිසි ප්‍රයත්නයක යෙදලා ඉන්නවා. ඔහු දේශපාලනයෙන් සමුගත යුතු කාලය ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ.
The Mahinda faction in the Sri Lanka Freedom Party is making the tail of the dog dance instead of the dog itself. This division will end with the May Day rally. When the line is drawn and separated, everyone in the country, including Mahinda Rajapaksa, will know who Maithripala Sirisena is and what his secretary is capable of. I will not talk about his secretary because I did politics with his father. The party's central committee has not taken a decision that those who attend a May Day rally separately will be penalized because I am the vice chairman of the committee and I was present for the last meeting of the committee.
අන්තිම මධ්‍යම කාරක සභාවටත් රැස් වෙච්ච කෙනෙක් මම.
The party is holding just one May Day rally and that is in Galle. No one in the party has the right to attend any other May Day rally. This is an attempt to steer this to the whims and fancies of certain people who break the party. I wonder if this is being done by a group who have got caught to another UNP conspiracy. UNPers would never attend an SLFP May Day rally even if they were given rockets instead of buses. These are lies. Such foolish statements are made by those who are politically invalid.
හිතලා දැන් අවලංගු කාසුලට බත් වෙච්ච කට්ටිය තමයි ඔයගේ මෝඩ කතා පවසන්නේ.
ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂය පක්ෂයක් හැටියට
The extent of the implementation of the aims and objectives of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party will be decided only after May Day.
මේ මැයි දිනේ සහ මැයි දිනෙන් පස්සේ තීන්දුව වෙයි.
ඒ අවුරුද්දෙත් කිරුළපනදී
They did the same thing in Kirulapana as well. It is nothing new. They held a rally under the patronage of the so-called leader of the joint opposition, Mahinda Rajapaksa, but there was no public participation. Mahinda Rajapaksa did not even get off his vehicle at the very least. So we believe it will be the same scenario this time as well.
තත්ත්වයක් මේ පාර කිරුළපනයේ තිබෙයි කියලා.
Now, views expressed at separate media briefings held today indicate that local government representatives of the SLFP are feeling the pressure of the party's May Day rally predicament the most.
The Gampa District Local Government Members Forum convened a media briefing today, while another media briefing saw the attendance of a group including the Deputy Mayor of the Gampa Municipal Council.
Various groups have got together in a conspiracy to split the Sri Lanka Freedom Party. We say to the members of the joint opposition to stop misleading our innocent local government members and to participate in the SLFP rally in Galle. They are asking us to go to Galle, that they are not going to Galle with Mahinda Rajapaksa. We suspect whether the SLFP is being steered by a UNP group at present. I would like to conclude by saying that if you go to Kirulapana, then it will be the last day in the SLFP for our members who face the smaller elections. Do not be a part of that sin. We have not violated discipline in any way. We have not worked towards splitting the party. We ask them not to extend false challenges.
We met some workers in Boralla who will be losing their jobs on May Day.
I have been keeping it and crushing it for almost 55 years now. I'm selling one for 2 rupees.
53-year-old O.V. Vijaypala, who is doing his job on a road near the Valikada prison, is losing his job on May Day because of a procession organized to exhibit political power.
We are going to our houses. The police came and asked us not to stay here on that day. If they are asking us not to stay here, we are going to our houses. What else can we do?
The man who is crushing Kottang to overcome economic stress is being crushed by officers of the state this May Day.
I said we could sell something on May Day. They can't prohibit it like that. If there is no one selling on that day, then we will also not sell. But if there is someone selling, then we will also come and sell betel leaves.
While those suffering in hunger are calling on the working class to rise up this May Day, people like Vijay Pala have been forced to stay hungry as they have been deprived of their livelihoods on Labour Day.
Following a meeting with UNP activists in Anuradhapura today, Party General Secretary Minister Kabir Hashim spoke to the media on security provisions for former President Mahinda Rajapaksa.
Mahinda Rajapaksa මහතාගේ කාර්යාලයේ ඉඳලා පුද්ගලයෙක් අත්තරංගුවට අරගෙන ඔත්තුකරුවෙක් කියලා. නමුත් අද ඔත්තු වෙලා දෙන ඔත්තුකරු වෙන්නේ අපාක්ෂිකයෙක් කියලා. අයාලට තේරෙන්නේ කවුද එයාලත් එක්ක.
They do not understand who is for them and who is against them. If they don't trust people, then we cannot do anything about it. We are doing all we can as government to protect them. When he was in power, he was crying that he is going to the electric chair. Now he doesn't even speak about it. His security has been ensured by the current president and the current prime minister. So he should be grateful to the current regime.
එතුමා පින් සිද්ධ වෙන්න ඕනේ වර්තමාන රජයට. චෝදනා කරනවා ඒකාබද්ධ විපක්ෂයේ අය එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂය තමයි ශ්‍රී ලංකාවේ පස්සේ කඩන්නේ කියලා. එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂය කවදාවත් අනිත් පක්ෂ කඩලා.
The UNP has never thought of progressing in the future by splitting another party. However, they talk about karma in Buddhism. What Mahinda Rajapaksa is experiencing at present is what he has done to other parties. He tried to split all the small parties in order to destroy democracy in the country.
සියලුම පුංචිම දේශපාලන පක්ෂත් කඩන්න එතුමා කටයුතු කරා.
On to another one of our headline-making stories, Sri Lanka Test opener Kaushal Silva has been airlifted to Colombo after he was injured during training at the Pallekele Stadium. Sri Lanka Cricket said that Silva was struck in the head by a cricket ball during the training session. SLC Secretary Mohan De Silva said the batsman had been hospitalised for further treatment. De Silva added that Kaushal Silva was out of danger and that his condition was not critical. He is currently under observation. The Sri Lanka Test squad is currently in Pallekele for practice sessions ahead of the upcoming tour of England. Sweden's Minister of Foreign Affairs Margot Wallström arrived in the island earlier this afternoon, the first by a Swedish foreign minister in 7 years.
Ties between the two countries were strained in 2009 when attempts by then Sweden's Foreign Minister Carl Bildt to visit the country were denied when his visa was rejected by the government of Mahinda Rajapaksa. Swedish Foreign Minister Margot Wallström is visiting Sri Lanka at the invitation of Minister of Foreign Affairs Mangala Samaravira with the aim of renewing the ties between the two countries. A 7-member trade delegation comprising leading Swedish companies is accompanying the Swedish Foreign Minister to Sri Lanka. Being a strong advocate of women's rights, Minister Wallström is scheduled to deliver a lecture at the Lakshman Kadirgama Institute of International Relations and Strategic Studies tomorrow on the topic Role of Feminism in Foreign Policy, Sweden's Feminist Foreign Policy. Minister Wallström is also scheduled to tour Jaffna during a visit to the island.
A decision has been taken to appoint a cabinet subcommittee to form legislation in order to create a secure environment free of harassment for women and children in the country.
The decision was taken when the special task force headed by Professor Savithri Gunasekara to prevent violence committed against women and children met with Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. The task force was appointed by Prime Minister Wickremesinghe in May 2015. The commission was established by the Prime Minister during his tenure as the opposition leader in order to submit a report on issues women and children face. During the meeting, the Prime Minister had instructed the Commission to formulate a mechanism to put into action the proposals while taking into account the information gathered from the 2014 report.
The third Udagama village constructed by the Good Governance regime was declared open in Hambantota today as San Hindagama.
The San Hindagama village comprises of 30 homes. Minister of Housing and Construction Sajid Premadaso, who declared open the village, also provided loans for the construction of another 200 houses. He also provided land deeds to 300 individuals. 50 people were given employment in construction jobs during the event.
What happened after 4 years? They cut off the GSP Plus concession that was provided to our country. They started closing down factories. I have to say with joy that the European Union will restore the GSP Plus concession before the end of this year. When that concession is granted, I say to you with responsibility that we will re-establish industrial zones not at the provincial level, but at the sub-divisional level.
Dr. D.B. Nihal Singh, pioneer in Sinhala cinema, was laid to rest today.
D.B. Nihal Singh was laid to rest this morning. The cinematographer added a realistic style to the more dream illusion Sri Lankan cinema while he burst into the cinema industry through the dramatic film Valikatara, which is counted among the top 10 films in the country. As the first general manager of the film corporation, many decisions taken by him helped in building a golden era in the Sri Lankan cinema industry. He introduced tele-art through Dimutumutu and the art of TV advertising through Telesign Institute and was the creator of many novel concepts. The funeral of this great cinematographer was held under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena at the Boralla Cemetery.
There is no difference between the cinema industry, the film corporation and Nihal Singh. Therefore, we have to say this in front of his remains. We may have differences of opinion, but we should question ourselves if we were actually dedicated to the cinema industry or if we actually did something for this industry. If we manage to realize our mistakes and learn from them right now, I believe we can see a better cinema industry in the near future.
Media Minister Gayantha Karunatilaka presented the eulogies issued by the President and the Prime Minister.
He always tried to explore the new dimensions of the art of cinema. He is a co-creator of our national identity as well as the identity of Sri Lankan cinema. We would like to send our condolences to his wife, Kalyani Nihal Singh, and his son, Manisha Nihal Singh, and may he attain nirvana.
D.B. Nihal Singh ama maha nivan supatuli.
Fishermen in Chelau staged a prayer ritual today, hoping to focus the attention of authorities on the problems they face.
Members of fishing community families boarded their boats and arrived in procession at the Chelau estuary, carrying a statue of St. Joseph Vase. A priest invoked blessings on the families. We go through a lot of trouble while fishing in the sea, but we can't even sell this fish that we catch from the sea. We have been suffering for a long time because of this estuary. We have informed authorities for several years now, but all we can do right now is pray to God. We are pleading to God to make the authorities open their minds and eyes and fix this estuary for us soon as possible.
A special delegation that toured Pakistan in order to improve cultural and religious relations between Sri Lanka and Pakistan are scheduled to return to the island today.
The officers, including People's Congress General in Karachi, Bandar Herat and other Sri Lankans, offered arms to the Buddhist monks who were part of the visit. The delegation from Sri Lanka also met with officials of the Pakistan Chamber of Commerce in Karachi. The discussions focused on resolving practical problems faced by investors from both countries and steps that can be taken by the states to promote trade.
We believe that this visit has been a great strength to promoting social, education, spiritual and economic ties between both countries.
The delegation is scheduled to return to the island tonight.
I hope you don't mind if I sit down and talk, or if you want.
The National Youth Video Summit 2016, under the theme of capturing local voices and strengthening democracy for development, was held in Colombo today.
The forum, which was organized by the Sri Lanka Development Journalists Forum, was held under the auspices of Minister of Parliamentary Reform and Mass Media, Gayantha Karunatilaka.
We have a new political culture being established, within which the Constitution guarantees freedom of expression and freedom of speech is reassured. The people's rights to be informed has also been given priority, and the political participation of people is recognized as a key factor to strengthen democracy. A government with new passion has realized its commitment to treat people as the key stakeholders in development. Within the globalization, majority of the mainstream media is proven unable to represent the real voice of the people and cater to all. In such a context, media experts had found community video as an alternative media tool that could be used to empower the people in silence. Community video is produced by the community and for the community. In community video journalism, people are the writers, editors and producers.
An event to commence the construction of 4,000 houses for estate workers in the central and Ubud provinces was held at the Dunstan estate in Pudalu, Oyanur area today.
The foundation stone for the construction of 404 houses in this estate was laid by Indian High Commissioner to Sri Lanka, Y.K. Sinha, and was participated by several public representatives.
I am happy to inform you that we have completed construction of 45,000 houses in the north and in the east. And today we are embarking on the third and final phase of the housing project, that is the construction of 4,000 houses in the central and Ubud provinces. The success of this model has been universally acknowledged, and only recently the Secretary General of the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies had visited Sri Lanka from Geneva, and he had praised the construction of the houses under the Indian Housing Project. We will be releasing a total payment of 950,000 Sri Lankan rupees per house in 4 installments directly to the special bank account of the beneficiary, operated by the Estate Workers Housing Cooperative Society. These releases will be based on progress on the ground.
With that, we wrap up tonight's edition of Weekend Primetime News. Thank you very much for joining us. Have a great week ahead of you. Good night.